just recently, I took my car to work to get work done. And whenever you get your car worked on at my job, there's a chance you get a survey.
What did you say on the survey?
Well, I got a survey for my car. And they had one question, is like, what did you think of your service consultant? Did anything stand out with your experience with a service consultant? So I went to a webpage that just had every quote from the most interesting man in the world. I copied all of them. It's pages long. Like, so they're flipping through and they're like, this is fucking stupid. They went through all of them. Like, I took like large passages from books. Like, a chunk of The Great Gatsby is actually on one of the things. It's like I just took everything and posted it on mine. So, and they're like, you can't fill out your own service. Like, I'm a customer. I bought the car, paid for the service. Yeah, this is completely legit. So they're all like, you're not supposed to, I guess, but a lot of people have never actually heard of that.
The most interesting man in the world?
So they're really...
I want to tell you about one of my favorite ones I read recently. I don't always roll a joint, but when I do, it's my ankle.
That's terrible.
It's so amazing.
That's terrible.
Because I hate people that do drugs because I think they're idiots. But that just, it hit me so hard when I finished reading because I was like, this is going to be the stupidest, dumbest one ever. And I couldn't stop laughing.
The best one of those. There's so many really good ones. Hello, and welcome to L2 Wargame audio podcast.
And you are?
I'm Spence. Just Spence on the forums.
This is Brandon.
This is Max from Age of Egos on Daka. Come check me out. What's up, guys?
Make sure you send him a message, a private message. Very intimate.
What it's like to be Age of Egos on DACA.
A collage of dick pics. That's what he prefers.
He does. Also, you can threaten to kill people's sisters and or mothers.
With said collage.
With said collage.
Was Jeremey? Go by Lord Fool.
That's true story.
He does.
That was Age of Egos. Why are you giving me that look?
Waiting on you to continue.
That sounded like
Why am I
Spence.
continuing? That
You
did not
started
sound like
this, you're going to end it.
So, what is today's topic, Spence?
Spence, why don't you just do something other than nothing?
Do something other than nothing. Okay, it's not going to be easy because I'm running Kreoss 2. So every action is effectively just run 10 inches or charge 8 inches. That's everything that every model's going to do. What is that for?
Saying do something.
I am doing something. I'm talking.
But you haven't explained what you're doing yet.
Okay. My battle plan right now is I really, really want to run my favorite caster. That's just what I want to do. No, not your favorite caster. Not losery piece of shit casters that can't accomplish anything.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to call him.
You'll play game.
I already beat Karchev.
Once.
That's all it took. He's dead now. He's dead. I want to run Kreoss 2 like crazy because that's what I want to do. That's what I want to play, and I'm getting really annoyed with not playing him and just playing things that I think are better casters or more tournament worthy or more competitive or trying to do really what you're supposed to do in the game. So I've just decided to really just run with it. Just put down a caster that I want to play and just keep playing with him over and over again. I don't think it's an entirely, ridiculous thing, despite getting glaring refusal from tons of people. Tons of people are like, no, that's a bad idea. You shouldn't do it. It's terrible.
I've been doing that strategy for a year now.
And you love it. That's wonderful. Magnus would net you all the W's. Stop shaking your head. That's wonderful.
I think I have one win with him.
I actually just took him to Des Moines, and I had a lot of fun with him. And I actually had more success with him than I did Feor 2 in Des Moines.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest. When I walked over in that first game, I was pretty sure you're never going to play Kreoss 2 again.
I had more fun losing every single night in my army than I've played so many other games. So it's just... And at this point, it's like I told you, I want to have fun with it. I want to play what I want to play.
And a lot of that on that game was dice.
You
had some really...
a lot of bitching.
There was no bitching. You're the one that's saying bitching. Shut up.
You're bitching about it right now.
That's not what's going on.
That's what's happening.
So it was still fun. And Crump was great to play against. He's fun. So it was more enjoyable to play what I wanted to play. And if this winds up being something stupid that I just do for a little while, that's okay. But I'm at 8 units of knights now, all metal knights. all completely overbrushed in my great simple paint job. Shut up! Like don't judge. They're amazing.
I didn't use words. You can't tell me to shut up.
I can look at you. And
Try not to look at his face directly.
I've gone through a solid 9 or 10 Kreoss 2 models, just putting them together and loving them so much. My battle plan is I want to put it together in a way that actually goes, stop with the look, it doesn't help. I want to put it together, yeah, you're giving me the look. I want to play it enough that I can actually get something out of it, and I'm not entirely unconvinced, despite everyone, shut up Popeye, that's a horrible look, despite what everyone says of it being low tier or bad. I don't think it is. I think you can get it. Yeah, that sort of thing. I don't feel like it's scrub noob. Jeremy Constance and Parker both kind of believe in the idea of underdog casters coming in and getting wins, and I'm not entirely convinced that he can't. I like his tier list. I think that's awesome. I think it's so fun. I think it's thematic. It's what I'm going to play. And
well, I used to play him quite a bit.
Yeah,
and it was,
it was fun until you turned 12.
Shut up. You copying off of Jake now? Is that what you're doing?
He's got good material.
I'm going to go ahead and talk.
I mean, I was probably 50-50 wins on him.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and when you lose, though, it still feels awesome. You get your cool feet turned, you get to do all kinds of crazy stuff.
The main problem I had with him is that I just wouldn't do anything with him.
He just stands in the back.
Yeah, you just stand in the back, and then...
Sevi does more personal work than Kreoss 2.
Absolutely.
Sad.
I think I cast a spell once or twice with him.
He's more of a figurehead than anything else.
Yeah.
No, he's a power 14 armor piercing attack is boostable. Get the fuck out of here.
Age of Ego is entirely correct here.
You just got banned from DACA.
That's true. No more DACA for me. That's if you can get him onto something, it's fucking awesome. But that's generally what happens is you get a wave of guys over there and you get a bunch of Weapon Master attacks. Like, okay, I'll go over what his tier is. His theme list. It's Crusaders of Sul, and I run tier 4 because it's amazing. Tier 1, you can only include certain models, which actually, if you look at what models are included, it's a stupid amount of models.
Yeah, he is probably one of the most flexible tier lists in the game.
Now, units deliver Sunburst Crews, Exemplar units, which is a lot of things, Flame Guard units, which is a lot of things.
The other half of a lot of things.
Yeah, and then Roven and Co. It's only that. I mean, you can't take Choir, but...
Aren't they an Exemplar unit now?
They are an Exemplar unit.
Not when the Theme Fish was made, they weren't technically.
Yeah, they've had to clarify.
Now they are.
Yeah. Which
they've clarified it.
It's easy.
Because it was originally just based off of Rogan.
Right.
Solos, Vassal mechanics, and Exemplar solos. So you're not getting any Vassal, you're not getting Vassals of Menoth, you're not getting any Paladins, you're not getting Reclaimers, but who cares? Once again, you're probably not taking too many Jacks. Exemplar solos, your Seneschals, really, are what you're taking. No battle engines. Now, the Warjacks, you can take non-character Warjacks and Fires of Salvation.
Not to mention all the medium-based models, I think, in pretty much the entire faction, except for Rax.
I think you're probably about right. Tier 1 is Knight Exemplar units become FAU. It's kind of a meh, who cares? But this is the one time you're probably realistically going to run more than 3 if you ever are, because a lot of builds aren't going to, because you can run Flame Guard, which are speed 6 with reach. They're solid. But the idea of just running a ton of knights is not only thematic, but it's Weapon Masters. His army includes 2 or more units and 2 or more Knight Exemplar units. Now, that's not any Exemplar unit. That's specifically the 6-man, 5-point Knight Exemplar unit. If you control 2 more of them, you get a free, all your Knight Exemplar units, which are those units, get advanced move. Tier 3 is, if you include 4 or more Exemplar units at all, that's Roven and Co., that's Bastions, that's Errants, that's, Avengers, all of them, Incinerators, all the Incinerators you're going to take. And that gives you 1 Knight Exemplar Seneschal, that's a double sword guy, or the Errant solo for free, and that ignores the field restrictions. And tier 4 is, if you include Fire Salvation, you get your deployment zone increased by 2 inches.
So, at tier 4, we're looking at plus 3 points, because you get a free 3-point solo. They get plus 2 inches of deployment, and one of your units that suffers from low speed having advanced move. Which basically gives them plus 5 movement. Which is a total of plus 8 or plus 7 when you count the extra 2 inches deployment.
Well, and it's for your slow army to have that and advanced move. It's like, if you go first, you're starting at the 14-inch line before you take a turn. That's not bad. I mean, and your units are, the way I run it is, we'll go into
double the
better than advanced deploy.
Yeah,
it's pretty solid. We're gonna actually, it's an inch behind the advanced deploy line.
Their advanced deploy line.
No, yours.
No.
14
But
inches.
you're not counting
got
the
it.
plus
Okay,
2.
I apologize.
He's
Yeah.
counting the plus 2 in it.
Okay.
Which is fair. I mean, because normally when you deploy, it'd be 7. You're deploying twice as far forward as a standard first-turn player.
Yeah. Now, should we go over the feat and really why I want to play Kreoss 2?
At this moment, we will take an intermission, so everyone out there can go read fucking War Room or their card and see what Kreoss 2
If you're listening to this, more than likely you know what Kreoss 2 does, and it's his feat. That's what it is.
At this moment, we'll just expect that Jeremy will cut in elevator music, and you'll go look that shit up because you're not lazy as fuck, and then we'll continue.
Okay, so
Continuing.
Seems like extra.
Continuing.
got it. The whole premise that I wanted to run to is currently I'm just going to run him with a myriad of things. Right now, I'm going to go over the list that I took to the tournament and how it worked out for me, and the one change that I'm going to make to it before I play again. I took Kreoss with Fire of Salvation. I took High Exemplar Gravis. Keeps everybody from being stationary and knockdown, gathers souls, a little bit extra that range. I took the Knight Exemplar Seneschal, the Exemplar Errant Seneschal, the full unit of Errants with the UA. I took then 6 units of Knights Exemplar. That was my plan. Just as many Knights on the table as I could possibly put down, all advance move, and shove them as far down the table as I could. Which means that if I go first, they're at the 24-inch mark. If I go second, they're at the 27-inch mark. That's
On top of 1 when your models are at the halfway mark. It's pretty annoying.
yeah. I mean, and they're knights, so they're 12, 15 starting out. They're going to get killed in swaths. I mean, Parker pointed out they're going to die quickly. But
The army's fast enough, honestly, that you actually pay attention to your opponent's threat ranges on bottom of 1.
yeah,
And intelligent players should be looking at shit like that.
the issue I was running into was trying to pay attention to my opponent's models and not put myself just in immediate victim range, but not moving my entire distance forward, which I kind of think that things are going to die pretty easily starting off, and they're going to start killing things. I need to move forward as fast as humanly fucking possible. And really, now, this is not how your list is going to win the game, but it's something you can start kind of trying to force your hand toward, is being so far past the zone. Like in Destruction, you're at the edge of the zone. Like
Jam-past.
you have models there and they can't get into it. So yeah, they're going to move up and they're going to start killing your knights, but that starts feeding your knights, because as your knights die, the units get stronger. +1 strength, +1 armor per guy that dies in each unit. That's going to be awesome. Second turn, maybe third turn, you're going to wind up popping your feet. And when you pop your feet, every knight's going to swing again and auto hit, and that's weapon master attacks out the ass everywhere. That's fucking awesome. And they have to have moved into your army at this point. If it's a gun line, it could be really bad. I played against Old Witch the other day. It was fucking horrifying. Moved everything up. She's like, okay, well, I'll feet. And then,
You're like, I'll stand here.
and then
Go ahead.
the Death Star and the NIST were all like, we kill a bunch of knights. What are you going to do? I was like, well, it's
I'm going to
feet
slowly
turn.
reach my right hand towards my death clock and tap it back to you.
So it's your turn. And he kills more knights. And it's just annoying. Good thing is though, you take, your Knight Exemplar Seneschal. He doesn't die. Unless they're smart and they kill him last, which they will, but they've had to deal with him standing there all turn long, and you got to run him up into things. Like, when I ran him up in to engage my enemy's stuff on her feet turn, he took a power 14 and was still standing there saying, okay, I'm at 0 health,
The
but
best part is when you get to run up and engage 2 Ravagors. You're
like-
like, both these bitches are taking 3 strikes.
it's like, let him do their thing. Because when you know how he works. If you don't know how he works, read it, because it's amazing. And if he's not knocked down, he can still make free strikes even if he's at 0 health. So he just takes up room. And he's 1 speed faster than any other knight. You can benefit from other guys dying from him healing.
Seneschal, same speed.
The Aaron Seneschal is the same speed. I apologize. He is not as defensive, though, because 13 defense is, whoa, that's a thing.
Yeah. Whoa.
Well, Fire Salvation gets to make a free move, which will get you a got you, and more often than you really think it will.
It will.
Because he's not a commonly seen Jack. So
only
people
seen
aren't
in
aware that if they
Kreoss.
kill a model within 5 inches of him, he's going to make a 5-inch move at the beginning of your turn with a free attack. So it's like, it's increased threat range. So what I found myself doing is trying to make sure that I don't lock myself in with him, because I surround him with a bunch of knights, and then they kill some assholes, and they're like, okay, well, I'm going to move half an inch just to nudge myself forward because there are too many knights in front of him. And if you leave a straight path, then he has great threat range, you just can't lock him in. So while they're killing your knights, which they have to and are going to, you're going to benefit from that. Gravis is going to gain souls. Your Knight Exemplar Seneschal is going to heal. Fire Salvation, he's going to get to get Righteous Vengeance. They're going to benefit from this. Even Kreoss heals, but I mean, if you're at that point, you're probably dead. But I've only had one game where that ever mattered. Yeah. Where they didn't know that it was happening, so they put a little bit of damage onto him. They had like 5 on him at that point, and they're like, okay, well they think
Now I
go
just
for
need
it.
a clear path to him.
Yeah, so they clear path, and like now he's at full, and they're like, wait,
no.
what? I thought he had 5. It's like, no, he did have 5, but you killed that guy, and I healed, and you killed that guy, and I healed, and they don't keep track of that. It's rare, but it can happen, and it's more fun for me to play something that I'm really enjoying. So it's not about strategy. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to probably drop 2 units of knights and play with Flamebringers, just because you can bring them in the tier. They're ridiculously fast. They're another Pathfinder option outside of Errants, which this list doesn't have really any of. They have 3 initial attacks and sidestep.
Plus auto hit.
Auto hitting, sidestepping, like power strength 9 weapon master and power strength 10 horse. It's like, they're just gonna beat the hell out of so much sidestepping into things.
There's such an amazing flanking force because they can run 18 inches up the very edge of the table and still charge 13 inches into the table basically.
Yeah. Kreoss has Invulnerable Resolve, which you'll probably try and figure out what it wants to be on until late game. Then it's gonna be on him. But you should, if you're gonna win this list, you're winning by like a crushing landslide by weapon mastering everything.
It's a
on your
win big,
feature.
lose big.
Or you're just going to start trailing off and hoping that they make a stupid mistake and you catch them with something. And it's how it's going to work out. But these chicks, they're really good with Invulnerable Resolve because they're the one not fearless thing you're going to have in your list. They're defense 14, armor 15 base. Armor 17 base is a little bit better and fearless. So, I mean, they're not a bad, unit to have that on. Sometimes I have it on Gravis just to keep him up a little bit longer. Or
I think at this point we should probably go around and share the list we built.
Sure.
I think we've talked about the synergies that are already in the list that you've played before, and we've talked about what our individual takes on how the list could be played.
All right, what are you thinking about taking?
Me particularly, this is probably the list I would play if I was going to play Kreoss 2. It's Kreoss 2 with a battle group of only Fire Salvation, which I assume is going to be pretty standard. I've got my free Knight Exemplar Seneschal, an Errant Seneschal, High Exemplar Gravis, full Errants with UA, Flamebringers full, and 4 units of Knights Exemplar. I think it's pretty standard. It brings the 1 fast unit of the Flamebringers, the 2nd Pathfinder unit of the Errants with some guns, and then 4 units of Knights to kind of spam. And then Gravis is obviously going to collect the souls and be a second line, also preventing knockdown of your caster so he can camp in the back. Errants are a great Sacrosanct target or an Invaluable Resolve target, same as Flamebringers. You can switch either buff to either unit, doesn't really matter. And it's pretty much apply models to enemy models and cascade to victory. That's really all the list does, but it does it pretty well.
You say castigate to victory?
Cascade.
Oh. I don't question. He actually has that spell.
Yep.
So
He does.
next.
Max.
Okay, so Max is next.
I took Kreoss 2. I thought that was a good start since that's
bold.
what we were talking about.
Strong play.
Bold.
Fire of Salvation, because it's a Warjack and he has to spend 6 points on one. Or 4, actually.
Strong play.
He did that too.
High five.
I have a Knight Exemplar Seneschal, because it's free.
You went tier.
I did.
Whoa.
I tricked you.
I didn't know that was coming. Whoa.
Holy shit.
I took another Knight Exemplar Seneschal, because why the fuck not?
Because they're awesome.
I like them.
When you get 2 for 3 points, it's pretty good.
1.5 points for that model is
Or
really
3
good.
for 6 points.
I like that. 2 points apiece.
I took 4 units of Knight Exemplar. I think it's my tier benefit in there.
Nice.
Full unit of Flamebringers.
If we all built the exact same list.
We did.
We did.
I promise.
Okay.
I have 1 unit of Daughters.
Ooh.
I actually tried to get into units of daughters.
I thought about 2 units of daughters, and actually 2 units of daughters might make more sense than what I have currently because I've got a full unit of TFG.
The problem is,
which I really like having the TFG because reach attacks with the feet is very, very useful. The problem is the TFG are slower than the rest of the army. I mean, they're faster because they're speed 6, but they're slower than the rest of the army because everything ADs and or is speed 9 or is advanced moving. So where do they fit in then? I don't know, but I like
TFG a lot because his feat with reach is amazing.
Right.
Not to mention if you fail to kill, they're on fire.
And I'm looking at ways of delivering the knights.
Right.
Not that I need to take a mass quantity of them to get them there. I'm trying to deliver them.
I was thinking that with the Flamebringers, you could kind of... worst case scenario, and I don't like throwing models away necessarily. I mean, that's kind of what you wind up doing. If you wind up throwing just the Flamebringers into his units or using that as like your first wave, they're dealing with them, and they can't get to the knights, which I mean, they should be there.
The Flamebringers need to get their on-feet turn still. Is part of the problem, because I think they just... That's where the TFG probably aren't needed if you're going to bring Flamebringers, because they kind of...
outside of feet, with feet, they're explosive. They can really...
Because you're talking about killing like 4 models, because they get to everything. They don't need reach because they have sidestep.
You'll kill everything in a 12-inch bubble with Flamebringers on feet turn. As long as Kreoss is in position.
And as long as it's slightly enough armor. Depends on, whatever it is. But if we're just talking infantry, for the most part, yes, they'll kill it all.
They're just... Even against Meatbound, they have a job, though, because they run around the back and they kill the stone.
Do they have a crit ability?
Crit Grievous Wounds.
Right. Well, you don't roll on feet turn. But,
right.
I mean, you can.
You might choose to if you're attacking the stone, because if you crit Grievous, you can't self-sack. That's actually a big deal. That's a big fucking deal. Or they just run in and just tap a War Beast, and they're like, oh, look, crit Grievous, you're fucked, because I'm going to take out your spirit.
I'd be actually...
Which is kind of a good strategy, because you still get the extra attack.
Right.
And... I don't know. You can do some interesting things with TFG2 with 2 attacks and CMA.
Well, and they can help you deliver your caster too. Because he has a small base; they're all small base. You have a little double wall of them with their Iron Zeal.
Maybe my problem with points should be I should mend the TFG, still take the UA because I think Iron Zeal is really really good, and just auto causing fire
and terror
is also good. And if you're going to use them as a delivery system or a way to hide Kreoss, that gives me the points to put another unit of daughters. Which maybe at that point I'm skewing too hard to just killing infantry, but I don't know.
The thing is, killing heavies happens.
Right, that's what I'm saying though. Is if I'm thinking if I can get there with 18 of the knights alive instead of, they've already killed
you get there
16.
With 8.
Yeah, then they're going to be able to do more work. Because it's kind of still the same idea of playing Scar. I mean, they're not Reach, they're not Bane Knights, but they're also cheaper than Bane Knights because you get 12 for 10.
Copious amounts of Defense 13 troops are more effective than a lot of people give them credit for. Because you can just jam a lot.
Defense 13 troops?
Defense 13 troops. The standard victim stats is 12-15. So putting things to Defense 13 makes it to where your average troop with a gun...
Oh, I got you. You're talking about TFG.
Right, TFG. Yeah. So versus the Armor 12, copious amounts of shooting will almost always hit because that's the most important point of defense in the bell curve. Putting them to Defense 13, you don't necessarily need Shield Wall because they'll just miss enough times that some of them will get
and set defense, that's...
Right, well, set defense helps you against the melee. But if you're going against, let's say, a huge gun line... You can just keep running at them and engage all their shit. They have to kill the TFG. And they don't really do anything other than engage ranged models.
I do think daughters maybe are a little not as used. I mean, they're great because of acrobatics.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't forget, they also get the +2 deployment, which gives them a huge move on turn 1.
Right. But I'm just saying, it's not their speed or anything like that. It's their 3 attacks with no reach.
Right.
Do they really accomplish anything? Most likely, if you're at best, you're going to get 2 models.
But also acrobatic lets you go past things and get to what you want.
Well, I will say...
Then you're just saying, I don't know.
Daughters
against a lot of armies, there's usually something they're screening for. And if you just saying that you can get to it...
Well, I was just thinking I could get the 3rd unit of daughters by minting TFG and taking out one of the errant seneschals, or whatever he is. But I kind of like him as a solo anyways.
I like the daughters in that list, and I really wanted to. Brandon talked me out of it. But The reason I really like the daughters in that list also is because if you hold your feet for like another turn, and it's to that point where you're not dead, but you don't really have much, and they're kind of moving forward, they're leveraging
You're
themselves.
for the important attacks over the copious amounts.
I have 3 or 4 daughters or 5 daughters out in the field still somewhere, or kind of held back a little bit, and I pop my feet turn. Daughters can charge their caster, which I know they should see that coming a mile away. They should, but I don't know. Power 9.
Let's say you get 4 daughters of their caster, 3 attacks, 4-man CMAs. They go to Mat 10 POW.
You don't
13.
care about Matt. It's auto hitting.
Well, true.
And it's anatomically precise, so if they're alive, you just did 12 damage.
That's what I mean. It's like you could just deliver them. Like
Or you could just roll the charge damage and then just take the other 8.
You roll the damage anyways.
Oh, that's true.
And if it fails...
Anatomically, even if it fails, not
So it's like, and it's not, that's not going to win you games all the time, but it's like the Fire Salvation thing. It's like, there are going to be times where, and this is kind of one of the benefits of playing a lesser known caster, and this is not going to work against players who are going to see this coming a mile away. This is not something you should use as a gotcha against newer players, but the benefit of playing against somebody who they don't see all the time is nobody texts against Kreoss 2. And not that they need to, but...
No one texts against Kreoss 2, but there are lists that run like Shield Wall-ish troops that are the equivalent to Knights Exemplar that die to the same effect.
That's true.
And high defense troops like the Daughters do get teched against, it's just less common than it used to be.
But
And that's the thing, is you only spend 5 points on daughters, and it's just a defense 15 thing that you can put in annoying places.
And even if they have an answer for it, like a lot of the answers are randomized effects like drifting blast damage or ashes to ashes or chain lightning, things like that. If it fails and they run in and engage a bunch of shit and just be annoying, that's the best 5 points in your list.
And you can fearless a unit if you need
It's very easy
to.
that they just fail to kill them.
You can do
Even if they have the tools.
I like the idea of it too, and also this is something else after playing that I want to hear
It
Jeremy's
also
list.
varies your threat ranges.
I want to hear Jeremy's list in a second, but one thing that I noticed is your deployment zone, because those knights aren't AD. You only took 3 units or whatever. You only took 4 units, but still that's a lot of stuff sitting
And I
in
have
your AD
TFG,
line.
which is 12-man units sitting in the
That's-
same deployment zone.
Playing with those units, I played with 6 units of them. I was across the table. Like if there was a
Stacks up
house
pretty
here,
quick.
I was like, okay, well, I guess these guys are going to take forever to get delivered. Like that happened every game.
And the horses are the same way.
Yeah, I mean horses. However, I'm hoping I can run on that side. then.
Horses are just so
18,
fast, it
18.
doesn't matter where you put them.
Yeah, but they're 14-15, right? Stat line?
Yeah.
If you IR them, you could really run them almost in base to base, and they're difficult enough to kill.
And there's always
To just
one
deliver
piece
your army.
of defensive terrain on your side of the board. You just put them there, and they're going to be at least 16.
Well, I'm just saying they
17.
just can run straight up the middle of the board and be, well, this is 5 models, so it's, I don't know what that is right now. I can't do math. 12.5 inches of you can't see past.
Yeah. I mean, it's
That'll
always
cloud a lot of guys. It's only 10 inches?
5 times 2. They're roughly 2 inches.
Yeah, I was thinking 2.5 or something.
Jeremy, what'd you bring?
Well, this isn't quite legal yet, but Kreoss 2, 2 Indictors, Exemplar Errants with UA, full unit of Flamebringers, Holy Zealots with UA, 2 units of Knight Exemplars, and with 2 points remaining, I put in a Reclaimer, but you could also put in a Viper.
Yeah.
Running out of tiers, actually.
Out of tier is something that you're. I mean, I feel like it has a definite place too, and I'm probably going to do it at some point. But I'm going to be so used to running him this way, it's going to be hard for me. But you play him like an actual caster. Well, I mean, and his speed is
He
incredible.
doesn't really gain that much from his tier. He gains a little bit of speed.
He gains 3 points,
And
plus
3
2 deployment,
points.
and advanced move on one of his most commonly taken units, but that's his most commonly taken unit because of the...
Right.
And even then, I'm mainly going to use the Zealots to screen the Knights
Right.
to get them in there.
Zealots are amazing screen unit.
Yeah. Plus, then, when they die, I get the Reclaimer stuff, so... To
I'm
help
actually-
fuel the Jacks.
I'd actually be.
Or if I use the Piper.
I understand that Vengers are bad with his feet, but he has IR, which is good with them. Is he okay with Vengers? Because
I don't think
was
he'd hate
just
'em.
thinking, they go so far, and auto hits, which isn't great on their charges, but
They have auto hitting
I've-
impacts, which helps.
that's true.
Auto hitting
Every time I've used him, I've been disappointed
very
with
valid.
him.
Vengers?
Yeah.
With just Vengers in general, or Vengers?
Vengers in general, but I've used him with Kreoss, and
Harbinger's Vengers are amazing.
I like.
I don't play RB, so...
Fair.
There's nothing in the world more disappointing as when a Venger misses a charge attack, and when it happens,
At least you're Mat 7, my Oolongs are Mat 6.
we're Mat 9 on the charge, and we're blessed. It shouldn't happen, but when it happens,
You should have guided handed.
it wouldn't matter. It can still happen.
Can.
except for on Kreoss 2's feet turn.
Well, you can also never count on an impact. Like if you want him to impact and the model's here, and he needs to go 4 more inches still, you can never count on that hitting, because then it's only mat 7, and if that model's defense 13, he might just fucking lose all of his attacks.
Yeah.
And
So the auto hit.
the auto hit's a big deal. I mean, it also depends on what kind of armor you need to break, because I'm POW 10 horses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a difference.
And Bowser doesn't help them.
No.
Yeah, because strength doesn't add to the strength of the mount. It's just the mount's 10.
I'm not entirely against it, and I understand why in feet turn they don't really do much. But hell, at this point, like, what if I decide to use them and then we were talking about with the Flamebringers?
Fine. They just,
And you just jam them.
Thinking, despite being bad with the feet, which, I mean, they're arguably... We're talking about this if you don't know. It's because the feet gives them additional attack, but the lance can only be used as a charge.
Yeah.
So they cannot make the additional attack with their charge lance. They do auto hit, so the +2 mats are relevant, but since they're one of your highest mat units in your army, they're kind of wasting the accuracy. You're also losing reach on your second attack.
So your second attack is with your Power 9 sword.
Right. But it also makes your impact attacks auto hit, which is an interesting synergy.
I hadn't thought of that at all.
So they're weird, but mainly after the feat turn. They can be your first delivery, and if they live, then they get to make multiple attacks with their swords.
I'm just thinking this. Yeah, that's about okay. But like I was talking about the Flamebringers,
Because they'll get there so early.
Well, and we've done that with the Harby list. How sometimes you jam with them.
Yeah,
it's 11 points. It's expensive as fuck, but I mean it's 11 points of you have to deal with these armor 19.
It's 11 points of tempo. It's like, I'll let you eat 11 points of my army, but it's going to take your whole turn.
Actually, at that
It's
point,
harder with hard.
I'm curious as whether or not they'd actually be there before the Knights.
They absolutely.
Think
So
so?
they run 16, and then they charge 13. That's already past the Knights.
Okay, but you have to run past all those bodies.
Right, but then the Knights just fill in behind. So
Well, actually,
while
you
you're
could take
dealing with
less
them-
Knights. You could actually make a much more... You know what? Actually, think about it like this, because this actually was almost... We'll take a little bit of this. If you take Avengers, you're taking less Knights, because more Knights are going to get delivered potentially by jamming. Now, whatever Avengers are armor 19 and imbibed in the enemy's army still, after you move Kreoss up and you pop your feet, you have Knights that are up there, okay? They're going to activate as large bases in the enemy's army, the ones that are still alive, which there shouldn't be any, but the ones that are still alive in there for some reason, because they couldn't remove the armor 19 5-wound models in there, okay? After they've actually... activate. Well, Kreoss activates, pops his feet. The models in there, now they get 2 attacks. They're going to go and declare ride by. Well, here's a Weapon Master Power 9 attack. Or actually Power 11 at this point. And I'm going to make a second one. And then I'm going to move out. Take your free strikes. So it takes a free strike and it'll die or whatever. It doesn't die. Whatever it does, you just moved your cavalry out of there now. Or it's dead. And now your knights get to move in.
To the side.
Or you move to the side. So your knights that have managed to move up, now they're in charge range because your Avengers have bought them a turn. Then your regular knights can charge in there and do their thing. And and this is once again a huge if. This shouldn't be this way, but if any of your Avengers survived with their armor 19,
21 with without resolve.
oh yeah, 17, 19, 21, yeah. Now because they're power strength 11 weapon masters that are in there with 2 attacks, and then they're gonna ride by their way out.
Also, if they take damage and they actually get to charge because they cleared off by something else, they're past 16 blessed lances.
Well, next turn they're going to be.
Right.
Yeah, so this is if they engage. Now they've moved out. Now your knights are going in there and doing their thing. And this is feat turn, so your knights are clearing up. And now you have whatever cavalry survives sitting outside, which is they're going to earn more points at that point because they're fucking valuable as hell. Because every cavalry model can earn its points, and it's a high accuracy attack that you didn't expect to have. Gravis is going to keep them on their feet. If any of them died from whatever free strikes they took as they were taking out, your Knight Exemplar Seneschal decided to go ahead and get Righteous Fury then at that point. Gravis got some souls at that point from those things dying. And then Righteous Vengeance is probably procced on Fire Salvation for next turn, so they know that's going to come. And because you could take less Knights, that's less stuff in your deployment zone. You could potentially have taken Daughters as well, so Daughters are in there also. They're dealing with all this stuff in there, and you could take the TFG as a wave behind the Knights. It's like it almost seems more interesting to find a way to take less Knights.
Okay, so here's what I'm looking at right now. Kreoss with Fire, Knight Exemplar Seneschal, Gravis, Mechanic, full Flamebringers, full Vengers, 4 units of Knights. So the concept is both Vengers and the Daughter Cav run up maximum, jamming. But the Avengers go into a brick in the center of your army. The Daughter Calf spreads out a little bit to the flanks, so you got like 3 on one side of the Avengers, 2 on the other side of the Avengers. Then the Knights fill in behind because they get the AD and or not the AD, but the advanced move and the bonus deployment. So they're up there pretty far. And then you invalidate resolve the Avengers, and you try and get the Daughters into defensive terrain. They have to move forward, or they lose on scenario. So you send in the Daughters first on feet turn, Kreoss charges, and gets thrown by fire if he has to. He gets the fuck up the board. Feats. The Daughters clear the infantry jamming or screening, whatever they have. Avengers get to charge. POW 14 Blessed Lances on whatever their favorite thing is. Hopefully that dies. And then you run all the fucking Knights to stand in. Because basically you use the feat to get rid of their chaff, which is usually the best way to use a auto-hit kind of feat, kind of like Grim 2's feats.
Because that's what Daughters are going to do on feat turn.
Right, so the Daughter Cav go in, they clear out a bunch of infantry. Then your Cav gets go in and hit really hard. But you've got 10 large base models with good stat lines jamming the fuck out of their entire army. You just go into them as hard as you can. And you've got 4 units of Knights standing behind that, ready to charge anything that makes it through the line of 10 large bases. And
I'm thinking actually maybe you run minimum Flamebringers.
Min Flamebringers?
Because
they can clear out a line.
Feet turn, they'll kill an entire unit. Still. For 6 points.
Alright, let's
actually, I like that.
I don't know. I like them being an Alpha Strike too because Light Cav is really powerful and just getting to move 5 inches the fuck out of the way or jamming deeper with them or...
So dropping the mechanic and minning the Flamebringers gets you 5 units of Knights.
I actually went double Daughters.
To be up there with them?
I took TFG out of my list.
I like TFG, but...
I like TFG. I don't like that they're slower than the Knights in the list.
Right.
They need to be slightly ahead of the Knights.
They're only 3 inches slower than the Knights running on turn 1, and then they overtake them after that, pretty much. If they keep running, anyway, they get up with them.
Here's an actual thought. So let's sharpen this point here. One of the main things that I'm going to try and do with this, and I don't know what kind of success is possible with this, but we've talked about it. It was. The idea of the high armor, multi-wound infantry spam that's not spam, I don't know what to call it, but just there's a ton of it out there. There's a ton. There's
the Meat Mountain,
Fist, Virus 2, all those lists, okay?
I have lots of hit points and armor.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to say this is a counter for that necessarily, but
you got the tools.
My will, and we talked about the fact that I play Menoth so much, trolls are a problem for me. They're a flat-out fucking problem across the board. I hate playing against trolls because every time I play against trolls, I deal with that. I deal with the fact that I'm Menoth playing against something that I just shouldn't have a game against. I can't play Feor 2 against it. The Harbinger list, I feel like, doesn't do enough against it, really. I mean, it has a game, but there's not enough there. And there's enough things in the game right now that play against that, or are trying to play against that Harbinger's not going to be able to really bring enough to bear. So I'm thinking this is another tool. Now, it's not going to be my number one list that I go to beat everybody because it has no game against so many things. I run Lich too. It's like, okay, well, my Knights will never get to your caster.
Oh, yeah.
It's just never going to happen. Things like that will just flat out exist. Like, it's just, we've talked about the idea of delivering Knights to any army. High Reclaimer is probably a better idea just because you can put clouds out. I don't want to run High Reclaimer. I want to run Kreoss too. So that's simple enough there. So I'm thinking about pairing this with Kreoss 1, like we spoke about in another episode. I want to run Kreoss 1 just because I feel like it'll make me a better player. It'll make me have to play the game better. So while I'm committing to that, I kind of want to go the other direction also and play what I want to play. And even if it's not the best thing out there, and it's not that strong of a caster, should I think of a way to design this to cover that sort of thing? Can I run Kreoss 1 as a list, pair with Kreoss 2, and Kreoss 1 will be, my, I don't want to say all comers, but he'll be my quote-unquote good list, my stronger list, and then I'll have Kreoss 2 for fighting the other things. So can I make that a pair? That's my battle plan now. And as opposed to creating that on the air, because I don't want to create Kreoss 1 list on the air, I'm probably going to fool around with this, fool around with that, and kind of see if I can meld them to make a list pair and see where that actually goes.
So, which of your lists would you want to build first to make the other one fill its gaps?
I think the better list needs to be built first. I think Kreoss 1 should be built first because that'll be the one that I'll play against the things out there that matter.
I think you could do it the other way as well, because if you build your Kreoss 2 list, understanding what it can cover, you know exactly what parts of the meta you will struggle against, and you can aim your toolkit, because it's clear that Kreoss 1 can build to fix a problem, and Kreoss 2 really can't. Kreoss 2 has a skill set that he plays to. Kreoss 1 can do lots of things. He's clearly the more versatile of the two. So if you need to fill a hole, he's the one that you probably reach for to make that happen, as opposed to Kreoss 2.
I think your main question is, where do you want fire? Which list?
Kreoss 2.
Oh, I don't know. That's going to be difficult.
I would just take double GK with both. I mean, that's probably the right way to go. That also covers the entire field.
That way you can sacrosanct the adjudicator.
Yeah.
So that model gets knocked down, even though you can't put it on it.
Yeah, that.
You ever just wonder how many units of errants you should put in a list? I know only one of them gets a
all
UA.
of that.
Only one gets a UA, but I mean, yeah, if you put like 3 units of errants in there, it's a lot of blessed crossbows with Hunter.
I have wondered if that would be a good drop. It's just 3 full units of errants, and then one has a UA, and then you got 2 or 3 seneschals to cover the field.
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
I think with how good errants are just innately, just with having a combined arms unit, they can fix a lot of
No,
problems.
I wouldn't want to do it with Kreoss too, just to denote that. That's not the plan there.
Even though that's the obvious place to do it in. What if you just took 3 units of errants with Kreoss 2?
You would still need to take 2 units of Knights Exemplar.
1.
2.
1.
Tier requires 2.
Of Knights Exemplar, or
Yes.
just 4 units of Exemplars?
Well, Tier 2 requires 2 units of Knights Exemplar.
That's fine.
Yeah. Tier 3 requires 4 units of Knights.
That's only 36 points.
I'm completely okay with it. You know me. I will actually buy 2 more metal units of full units of Exemplar.
And you'll have to put them together because I won't.
Oh, you're lying. Wait until I get my.
Alright, so let's continue with the Kreoss 2 build.
Well, our Kreoss 2 build. Now, my thought is Kreoss 1, and this you have more experience with this than I do, but he's the caster that I feel like I'm going to.
I feel like you can do anything with Kreoss 1. If you know what you're playing against, you can.
Then this is what I'm going to do with Kreoss 2. With Kreoss 2, I want to play him against those lists. I want to play him against the exact ones you described: the Meat Mountains, the Fist of Halak.
He needs to be your armor breaker.
Now I feel like I have plenty of game against Fist with this list. With Kreoss 2, I think Kreoss 2 has Fist all day long.
I think the Flamebringers.
You don't think so?
Lose a lot of value when you plan to play against shit like Meat Mountain.
Yeah, so that's why I would generally take Daughters out at that point. Now, Daughters if I was an all-coming thing, but just more Knights is what I want to do, but I just feel like it's a bad idea. I feel like I should vary things. I've run across the problem of if my opponent realizes my threat range is 8 inches, I'm never going to get a charge. Mm-hmm. But then you just have to be... I've done this also. You have to realize...
Well, when you talk about the brick list, like Meat Mountain and Bradigus, their range attacks are fairly limited. Mm-hmm. So...
Well, even if it is... okay, shoot your Incendiary. Okay, nothing's on fire.
Well, sure. I mean, it's POW 6 plastic. You just don't care.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. A lot of those brick lists can't shoot your army off the table.
Yeah.
So if you're playing against your preferred matchup, you don't have that problem.
Bradigus, I'm not sure how that
Bradigus
game
has
will
guns, but he's not going to win the game by shooting knights.
at all.
You just keep pressing him until he
That's
has
kind
to
of-
come into you. He'll kill a decent amount, but I mean, within reason, he's eventually got to come forward.
Well, he does, but the forest cloud wall is kind of a big deal, I would think, since you don't have Pathfinder in a lot of places.
You're limited on Pathfinder a lot. Well, specifically, you can't see through the forest anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Pathfinder helps, but
I don't know.
That's just, it's a really hard matchup.
I think if you play a knight spam, you beat Bradigus most games.
Well, because you just flood what... You have a frontline of knights whose job is just to engage their stuff.
Right, you stand to where if he shoots a knight, he puts the other knights in a forest so that they become defense 14 or 15. So it becomes really hard for him to shoot down more than 3 or 4 a turn.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then the trick, you have to press him to where he has to come forward to contest the zones.
Which he kind of has to anyway, because you start out there.
Right, you start out at the halfway point with your slow stuff. And then anything you have that's fast is beyond that. So he has to come forward. Then if he doesn't, actually commit, and he tries to, do the, I'm going to shoot at you and back up stuff, then you just jam super far forward, and you start dominating.
What are the stats on the gun from that little...
They're hand cannons. Range 12, POW 12.
Rat, what?
5.
5. Okay, so against
Boostable,
Flamebringers...
right?
I raged.
Range 10, POW 12. And then when they kill a living model, they turn it into a force.
We're at
Living
5?
or undead.
Living or undead.
We're at 5?
So you need 7s to hit. But most importantly, they have to cast their Animus, which is free with Bradigus, but they still have to do it. Then they have to go into Storm Form for 1. So they can only afford to boost a hit or damage.
Well, I'm thinking Flamebringers or something that I may want to keep in there just to have that variable option. They take away 2 units of Knights. They do, but...
That's if you take a full unit.
That's true.
But a min unit is... I don't think a unit at all is good against Bradigus, necessarily.
Not at all, but they have Pathfinder, and they can flank. So they're going to be around there behind. Their defense...
I guess the good thing would be if they walk in and kill all the stickmen. But,
Maybe, but it's like, even if I just run them around, it's like, now you have to deal with them back there. And I mean...
But there's nothing behind him. Like
he's back there.
He's not scared of them.
Really?
Because he'll just come over the top
To what?
to Kreoss.
He can't.
He can.
He can come over the
He
top.
can't teleport and then push 5 and then be back 3 times? Or 5 times?
No.
Okay.
I feel like I would never want to give him that option at all. I would never want Kreoss that far forward.
Well, then your feet is not part of the game.
Against his stuff, it is.
I don't know. He plays pretty far forward. Especially against the list with no guns. Like, he's like 3 inches behind his front line. And his threat's like 17 inches.
Then 2 Knight Exemplar Seneschals just standing there who can't be knocked down. They're just
But that's
standing
not your list. It's like,
Well, you know what? At this point, we're building the list, but no, we're not going to
just
build
V-backs around them and it doesn't matter.
Well, I'm camped a lot.
So he teleports 10 with stones, feeds 5. That's 17 inches of threat before V-back.
I'm okay with that. I'm camped a lot. He's going to have problems.
No, I'm not saying that you're not, but when he has 8 points of synergy...
But I'm just saying, when he's standing there next
he
to
comes
Kreoss and
in-
doesn't kill Kreoss...
When he comes
Kreoss
in
felt
at
like
bag
I'm
14, power 21, it doesn't matter.
Dice minus 5.
He's still got a full stack and hits you on not once.
He had to beat back a couple times to get there.
No, he didn't. That's literally like teleport and shift.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway.
So Radix is unbeatable.
No,
There's
he's not.
no reason to play against
I'm just
him.
saying that I don't think Daughter Cav is good against him.
Okay.
So, I dropped down to minimum Flamebringers. Added Rupert, Piper.
Still out of tier.
Of course, still added tier. But I also added Anastasia.
Anastasia. Try and get it first turn.
And extra attacks from all the knights. And extra attacks from all the knights. Because you need 3 attacks per knight.
Does it say during activation?
What,
It's
the hit?
Manufacturer makes an attack against the enemy model while the enemy model is in the Kreoss control area, the attack automatically hits. While in Kreoss control area, manufactured models can make 1 additional attack during their combat action. So yeah, you still auto hit the whole turn. So if Anastasia actually triggers, they get to walk and auto
But they
hit.
get an extra activation, so they get another combat action?
No, they get
4?
a move and an attack.
I like the way Max thinks. I'm all about this. Oh, yeah.
No.
Except, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
the problem you run into at that point is, like, nothing would be in their melee range. Like, actually,
Even with a full advance, they wouldn't have anything to go to.
it's like, I guess what are they doing? Nothing?
The Daughter Cav is okay because they could walk through the forest and kill stickmen, which would prevent future forests, but then they would die and turn into more forests, and you're paying 6 points to kill twigmen, and turn into a forest where the twigmen were standing.
So
But
are
you're
we...
looking at it a little narrow-minded as that they only do one thing in one match, or they're only going to play in one matchup.
I'm just talking about that specific matchup. I'm fine talking about the other matches. I'm just saying, if you're trying to build the list, because clearly Kreoss 1 cannot beat Bradigus. That's a serious fucking problem.
I don't think that...
you just not.
I don't know that it's as bad as you think it is.
Do what? The Bradigus matchup?
Yeah.
Is for Kreoss 1?
Purify, feet. He doesn't have fury management. Starts to become a problem when you have to force stand up.
But I guess you have to purify, but I just feel like you die, because Bradigus is knocked down. Which makes your Redeemers pretty
That's
worthless.
why you don't need to do anything to Brad. You don't have to get Bradigus in the feet. He's usually sitting behind everything anyways. Everything else is bricked. I don't know that it's I'm not saying it's
I
great.
just don't know that you can
I don't
kill
think it's
anything in
awful.
his list, because everything's number 21. It just takes so long to chew through.
Well, I think if I want to make the Kreoss 2 list a blunt force instrument, my question is, do I want daughters or do I want more knights? And I think that I want the daughters to give me just another option. Because I already have a ton of knights, and I feel like the daughters will let me use those knights more effectively, as opposed to just having 2 more units of knights to
Dodgers or Flamebringers?
Flamebringers.
I think the Flamebringers are a fine option.
I know.
I'm just thinking if you're planning on only playing this into brick lists, you might as well take men. Because they're better than daughters. Or fuck, you might as well just take 2 more units of fucking knights at that point. Like, that's honestly, like, I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know why you wouldn't just take 2 more units of knights against a brick list.
Do you have any idea how badly I want to do that?
But I mean, if we're talking about Kreoss 1 being your other list,
That's what I'm thinking.
you're going to play into brick list mainly. other lists as well, but so let's just talk about that. Let's just.
I think if you, but the problem is, I feel like if you. Here's the thing with building specifically for Meat Mountain or Bradigus, is that list. What if you don't play that? Now you lose that game because you built it so hard into that SKU.
I played Kreoss 1.
You have to drop both lists. Do you not play Steamroller?
DNC is actually not a Steamroller rule.
It is in every
Even if it
tournament
is.
you will ever play at.
Even if it is, I feel like
it matters.
It's in every ADR tournament.
I can look at the table, and if I'm not playing a brick list, the last game I played against Scorn, I feel like even though I dropped Fiora 2, I really should have dropped Kreoss 2.
Yeah, I don't know why you dropped Fiora 2.
I didn't want to lock myself. You know that. Because everybody
Still don't
No,
understand that
we
decision.
settled with the tournament. I
Anyway,
specifically
there's no
even
point
asked.
talking about
Okay.
this. You clearly dropped the wrong list.
You're right. So, I think that I could play this effectively into some things. I mean, there are some things that it's just going to flat out lose against. We know that. That's no question. But I can play it into things that are not brick lists. Like okay, let's go through the concept of what is it not entirely terrible against instead of brick list we want it to be good against other things. What are the
It's
other
bad
things?
against heavy dude spam because you just can't kill enough of them before.
Yeah,
It's like Scar ones, even Body and Soul.
If you're playing triple air,
It's true. Triple Errants.
yeah, quick work all day long.
why do you care about that?
Because Kreoss is your
Because
Chris
Kreoss
Rock.
1 does that.
Yeah. So my thought is, okay, what does Kreoss 1 not want to play against then? How about we ask that then? Instead of going the other
from the
direction.
other perspective, what is our Kreoss 1?
Well, 'cause
the one
we're-
I've been playing, or
What are we going to do with it? At this point, I'm saying I want to play Blunt Force Instrument against Blunt Force Instrument. That's what I'm looking at right now. And I feel like Kreoss
okay, let's
2
just
could
go
do
down our list then.
that. Idea. Good.
Clearly, Body and Soul is a Kreoss 1 matchup.
Okay.
Not a Kreoss 2 matchup.
So let's
Lich 2, same.
Kreoss 2. Kreoss 1.
Kreoss 1. Siege, Kreoss 1 matchup. Mm-hmm. Haley 2, probably a Kreoss 1 matchup because he actually scares Haley 2 as opposed to literally all your shit just eventually dies.
It just gets, gunned down.
Butcher 3, Kreoss 1. Osram. Kreoss 2 is actually probably fine against Osram.
I'm not going to get knocked down.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point, but also
I'm camped a lot and I'm not going to get knocked down.
like he just doesn't have the volume of high-powered attacks because every Mert gun is POW 10 other than like fucking pros, like and the Earthbreaker itself. So that's actually
Military rifles?
right. So we're at Osram, yeah, but no one fucking takes steelheads because they're not stupid.
What?
I like steelheads, Jeremy.
So we got Osram, Lucant, clearly not a Kreoss 1 matchup. That's Kreoss 2.
Yeah, can that be played?
What do you mean?
Okay, let's go
Kreoss 2
down.
into Lucant.
Let's go down this and then we'll look at this list.
Sure. Well, mainly you just never see that matchup because they play Mother.
Mother, no.
Mother would be a Kreoss 1. Trolls EE,
I think
probably a Kreoss 2.
I could do that.
Kreoss 2, so EE.
I feel comfortable with that too. And I would actually
Runes.
like that.
Runes is probably a Kreoss 2, which is like where your target is basically trolls. Legion Veil 2, probably a Kreoss 1.
I don't know enough about Legion, honestly. I like
Bradigus is going to be, so Brad. And that's it. Okay, so you're of the types, heavy assassination, because Kreoss 2 camps better than Kreoss 1. He also has the anti-knockdown type of Gravis, and he can stand behind stuff. Like, he just hangs out in the back. Lucant just doesn't get pop and dropped ever. Like, that doesn't happen to him ever in the history of the world. So, and also, he just doesn't want to see a bunch of fucking weapon masters.
Well, okay, can that... Okay.
No, that's definitely a matchup I would never play. Like, it doesn't matter how good or bad it is because you would never get that matchup. You'd be like, I'm playing Menoth. I'm like, okay, I play Mother. It's like, that's what happens.
But wouldn't Kreoss 1 be better against Lucant?
All the stuff's immune knockdown, and he has decel. And he has shield guards on all of his battle group. It's terrible.
But you
Isn't it?
still have to go against Watcher, which...
But it doesn't matter because there's nothing in his list that I'm scared of. Because Kreoss doesn't play heavies that actually go into melee. Like, he plays 2 Reckoner. Like,
Right, but Kreoss 2, trying to get there.
but Kreoss 2 has a Dispel attack.
Right,
Multiple.
but he'd have to hit Lucant.
Sure. Or you just...
But he's not going to.
Or you just take Watcher. Like, because I'm taking a free strike from every knight that engages one of my heavies. That's how you get around Watchers. You just bury guys on my battle group.
Well, you do have 3 dispels.
Well, yeah, on your battle group, but you're still going to get stuff in front of Lucant.
Okay.
Are you saying that knights aren't going to charge Lucant?
I'm just saying you're probably going to make it so that... Whatever.
Well,
Like, sure, like knights aren't going to assassinate me by getting like 3 knights to Lucan auto-hitting, but he's going to win the attrition game because his shit hits harder than mine does in higher quantity.
You get Gravis charged on Lucan, and then they watch her, and if they decide they want to kill Gravis...
The only way you kill Lucan is if he lets you in that matchup, but he has to give you the opportunity because you just kill all this stuff.
Well, I'm saying, okay, can Lucan move with Watcher?
No.
Okay,
only
so Gravis charges in on Lucan. You get to activate Watcher. What are you going to do? Kill Gravis?
You block last sight to Lucan.
Well, no, I'm in melee with you right now.
Well, I don't know how you got there, but sure. But that's what I'm saying. Is like eventually you get to the point where you're just winning, and there's nothing he can do because your army beats his army,
And you're faster than him.
it doesn't matter.
As a Kreoss 2 army, you're hella faster than him.
D-cell is worthless. Like, sure, he can feed, but you just back up when he feeds. Like, it's a winning game. Like, if you lose to Kreoss to Lucan as Kreoss 2, I feel like you made big mistakes. Like, that's just the definition list he does not want to play against.
Okay. EE, I feel like that's completely solid because what do they do? They have
I would
Storm
actually
Trolls.
be much more worried about EE than Lucan.
Storm Trolls. That could be annoying. Slag Trolls can be annoying.
Slag Trolls are not really that annoying. They're POW 12 guys.
I'm saying annoying. I'm not going to give much
Right,
better
I mean, the problem would be that he would kill enough of your guys that it's hard for you to finish the game. Because your armies are going to run into each other so fast because he starts at the halfway point and you start at the halfway point. Like, you're basically like 2 inches apart of
the thing that I like is, though, if he tries to use his guns effectively and not his melee, because I can just space out guys, or I can run a guy to engage his guy and he has to fight that one guy in melee.
Well, actually, you don't even have to space out because his leaps are 4-inch leaps and the only other AoEs he has is auto fire. That's why they're good. So you just don't care.
So, yeah, so he has to stand back.
You just clump up your guys and it doesn't matter.
He has to stand
What
back.
is
otherwise die.
Pyrotroll's Animus?
Pyrotroll's Animus is your melee attacks gain crit fire and +2 to damage rolls.
Ignite.
And immunity to fire on the model.
Yeah, it's entirely. So I would fight that. I would like to fight that, actually.
I'd like to see the game. I don't know that's as good as you're thinking it is, but
No, I don't think. I'm not saying it's a landslide victory. I'm saying it would be worth playing.
yeah,
I
it'd
think
be
that'd
fun to
definitely be
watch.
worth playing.
Your dog is dying.
Jane never dies. She lives
Jane,
in her brother's hearts
are you gonna live on
the
in the
roads.
hearts of your brothers?
on the road. All right, then Runes. I think Runes is going to be fucking hard.
So Runes is the super break with board control.
And I mean, holy fuck.
You have 0 way to kill Danessa and nothing that deals with the walls very well.
Right. You just have to hope that you're not playing a scenario in which he can contest the zone from behind one of his
To
tier
hope the
force walls.
Avengers 1 reach attack.
We don't have Avengers currently, but we're
You
debating.
basically
on
have to give him incentive to come over the wall. So stand exactly 2 inches away from the wall and just stand there.
Well, aren't we already fighting in the zone? We start out fighting in the zone?
Well, a lot of the scenarios he can't put walls in the zone, but like 2 of them he can because of where the six.
I can start the game with models in the zone.
Well, sure, but he has a wall in the zone and he stands behind it, so you can't charge him.
I could just run over the wall.
You could, and then he'll kill you.
I run another model. I'm
then
not
he
running
kills
one
that.
model at a time into it. I just run them all over the wall. And I have to fight them over there. It's like you have to keep pushing forward with it, though.
But if he's standing in the zone, you have to eventually kill him for it to matter.
Yeah, and I have to
Well,
hope
with-
that he can't kill all of my models
With
there.
Fortune, Mogul kills 7 models every turn.
And more than that, because he's going to go and just kill everything that he could possibly get to.
Only going
You
to
know,
make 7 attacks.
He has 7 maximum attacks.
I got a feeling Nail's going to be there, and he's going to somehow remove all the fury, and he's going to be able to do it more.
Okay. So anyway, there's runes. The biggest problem in runes is the walls. If you could just charge him, it wouldn't matter. But moving on, Bradigus, I think, is the hardest thing for me not to cover, which is why I'm thinking you would want to cover it, but you can just dodge it and hope you don't play Bradigus specifically, which would make your matchups a lot easier.
And I honestly don't feel like I have no game against him. Like we were saying, I think we could just keep pushing on him. And I'm not, listeners understand this is not a silver bullet thing. We're not building to say, we can definitely beat Runes and Bradigus and EE with it.
This
That's
is
not
just
what we're saying.
Tried the
least
bold
bad
strategy
choice.
of making sure their list locked.
Yeah, I could also just
That's
choose a
what
different
I-
caster and try to do this in the most, fucking meta efficient way to do this, but I'm not doing that. I want to play this guy. So these are things that I could do.
I think it's a legitimate option against all 5 of these, which are actual problems in the meta right now. Like EE, Runes, Bradigus, Lucan, and Osram are all serious questions. If you go up against these lists and have no option, you basically auto lose. Kreoss 2 has at least a 40% chance to win all of these games, I think. So he's giving you the options that you would normally not have by playing Fiora 2, Harbinger, Sevi 1, all these commonly played lists. A lot of people are thinking Durst is going to fix these problems. I've seen Durst on the table a couple times. I don't know that he does. I think he is cool.
I don't think he's had enough play yet.
True. I mean, maybe
Absolutely
we haven't
not.
unlocked the puzzle yet, but...
I mean, he's been out for a month or so.
He has looked really fun to play.
2
and really
weeks.
cool.
Well, I'm considering since locked in mode.
Yeah.
You know my favorite thing about the idea of just dropping the Flamebringers and adding in 2 more units of knights?
You get more knights.
Yeah, I get to run more units of knights.
Yeah. Okay, so let's come up with a Kreoss 2 list that we actually all agree on. That is good. If we're planning on, let's say, this is our target group. Ostrom with an Earthbreaker, Lucan, EE, Runes, Bradigus. We want to beat this. What do you take?
The list I took to Des Moines.
6 units of knights and errants.
Yes.
And then Gravis and the 2 solos. The 3 solos, basically. I squeezed in Vengers. I have 6 units of
I
knights and
think you
Vengers.
have to have something that varies your threat ranges, or if you just stick with static 8.5, you'll lose
I think
way too many
the
games
Vengers
based on
also
that.
give you that heavy scenario play where just taking errants doesn't. Because running the halfway point.
How'd you fit them?
I don't have errants.
No, no, Vengers. Oh, you don't have errants.
I don't have errants. I have Vengers.
Holy shit.
Which, if you think about it, melee-wise, they're kind of like errants, but they have battle drift. They're
Shut
also the highest option for armor Menoth has in their faction. On infantry.
Shut up. This is like, what?
They are. Armor 21.
You
infantry.
dropped errants. Give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can even care about this. You took out the errant seneschal too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So why would you have
I
it?
think the Vengers
I'm a
actually,
point down. I actually get a mechanic in here as
The
well.
Vengers actually probably give you your best game against Bradigus, because if they're inviolable resolved,
He can't
you
shoot
can
them
just
down.
walk Tenet right behind them.
He has to come in with melee, which means he's standing point blank in front of the
I couldn't
packed
fathom it
army
without
behind
fucking...
it.
I could
You
not
just walk
fathom it without fucking errants.
You have to see so far outside of the box that you see back into the box.
You took errants out of a list. I don't know what
I
to do
didn't
right
have
now.
any errants in my list.
It's true. I like the TFG build. It's just more of an all-comers, and this feels like it's basically a targeted gunshot. Like, I'm going to build a shotgun that only hits these few things, and just pray it fucking works. Like, it's clearly a very directional thing. But when you know your other list can cover 80% of the field, you can do that. That's what literally not Circle, but Signar has been doing for like 10 years.
I fucking hate Signar.
I know, but that's all they do.
fucking hate
Here's
them.
early too, I guess my other list breaks armor, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's...
Okay, that's exactly
That's
what
how
that
they
is
play the
like.
game.
I want to play a different caster. Like, who's that? Like,
So in those types of matches, would you want to add the Sunburst crew?
No.
Ooh.
No.
Lots
Well,
of
not
Sunburst.
LeConte, but
Not Lucan, not Bradigus, not Runes, not E, not Ostrom. Well, Ostrom would actually be valuable because he has so many little... But the thing is, like, the Ostrom build you commonly see is, like, you either see Nis Hunters and or Gun Mages to support, or both, and neither of them really guns down the Knights fast enough, and also contests them. Because you play against Ostrom, he can't put anything in the zone that doesn't die instantly, so he ends up having to put the Earthbreaker in the zone. Because anything else he puts in the zone, you just feed and kill. Because there's
I
nothing
can't even imagine this at all.
without. Just shut up and look at the list.
I am.
It's Kreoss, Fire Salvation, Mechanic that follows your Fire Salvation around.
Yeah, he gets a buddy.
Knight Exemplar, Seneschal, Gravis, 6 units of Knights, Vengers.
He's gonna outrun the mechanics so goddamn quick.
Not really. He runs 10. They both run 10.
Except for you're gonna Righteous Vengeance one time,
But it
and now
doesn't matter once you do that. He Righteous Vengeance forward. You activate him first, move up and repair him, and then he charges.
he's just
Because it
gone.
doesn't even matter if you take out his movement, he's still going to charge you. Because
It's,
you just got something like, I hit an 8, suck it. I got
actually, it's kind of cool because they can't stop you from charging or anything. Because like if they do something
Then
like
take
that,
out your Cortex to stop you.
that's hilarious.
Not if you take fuel cash.
But what if you have a mechanic? What if you have a mechanic? He could fix your Cortex.
You then could still not allocate focus. Because
I took Feyward too. I popped your
I'm
feet.
going to stab you in the eye with this pen.
You know how many games I've done that? I purposely look for a way to do that in every game when somebody like finds a way to stop my Jack from getting focus. Like,
I've seen it happen, yes.
my
Okay,
most favorite thing.
so is this terrible? I feel like it's terrible. What should we do?
When you say it's terrible, you feel like it's terrible. Why?
What's the problem with this list? If your goal is to cover this general
You're
band
right
of
because
the meta-
errants don't do anything in that list against this. Errants do nothing here.
Errants with Kreoss 2 do nothing because he has no
Yes.
damage.
Well, no, he's not going to add anything to them. So you're absolutely correct in this. That does make sense. I I like the solos.
I don't think this is the best Kreoss 2 list. I think this is the best Kreoss 2 list to be paired with that I've seen so far.
You have any idea how much I love that?
It's not that it's a good Kreoss 2 list.
Well, it's kind of like I'm gonna ride Kreoss 1 this whole time. Like, yeah, and if I come across anybody who's like, hey, fuck
like
you, Kreoss 1.
This company that's GW on the side of the building that's just kicking the dead horse and then playing Kreoss 1 to the finals, and you're like, oh, you have Bradigus, so I guess I'll play this.
I brought my big brother. Then it's
to be fair, like,
and it's literally the thing is like if you just dark horse out like never, because realistically, if you never come across these, you'll never play this. So it'll never. So when you finally somebody goes like he just runs Kreoss 1 all the time.
Most people that play this stuff don't see Kreoss 2
ever. Which means righteous vengeance.
I mean, I think you need to play this, and you need to do what basically you did with Fist, and just play through every possible iteration repeatedly as much as you can until you find one that stands out among the rest. I don't think it's necessarily this. I just think this is a good place to start. I like all the other things you can do with Kreoss 2, but if you're pairing with Kreoss 1, none of them are good, because that's just what Kreoss 1 is.
I want to get everybody to weigh in on this and completely agree with me. Bastions are not something you want with Kreoss 2. Just say it.
They're fine. They're just.
They could be.
I've used them to good effect to screen in the knights.
How?
You basically ignore your bonus and just have them behind the bastions as they advance.
You use them as a magnet to attract enemy models. Because look how easily I killed your bastions. You're like, all right, now I'm going to feed and charge you with 4 units tonight. You're like,
yeah.
Oh. Well, that's
true.
I think this is a playable list, again, especially against these types of armies.
Not only is it playable, but it's fucking awesome.
Sure. I mean, it's also thematic.
Which matters more.
The Avengers are also at armor 21 after they get damaged. Good screen to keep you from being able to kill knights. Even if they don't even get to kill anything.
I still love them engaged with the enemy and then popping your feet.
I don't, because they don't have sidestep, but it's alright.
But with ride by attack, you can usually get to a spot to engage 2 models on a large base.
Attack, walk away, take your free strike, I don't care.
I've done my job.
It did.
The best part is you can back up to basically 2 inches away, and then the other Avenger can just walk in between you and the other model.
Well, power...
His reach is...
2 inches.
If the enemy model has reach, and you can properly gauge 2 inches, you can actually fit a large base between 2 models with reach.
Well, power 11 weapon master attack is valuable. I mean, it's. I'm not gonna say it's better than the power 16 charge,
most
but
times you'll be power 9. But when you get the power 11,
well, this is after engaging all their models.
sure, but they're probably gonna die.
They should.
They're
Armor 21.
You're gonna send in your cav, hit super hard, and be like, you have to kill them to get to the rest of my army, which is just clustered behind it. So you kill the knights, and then you kill the Avengers, because the knights apparently aren't models on horses.
God, it's so horrible.
In every faction, knights are referred to troop infantry on foot. It's just annoying.
This is...
So you've got your Avengers screening front line, up there, past the zone. They have to kill them to move on, and armor 21 models are really hard to kill with guns. So they probably have to charge into them, using their own models to block their own pathways to get past them. And then you just charge them with knights and feet, and then you start dominating.
Side note, if anybody out there has experience, I would not mind hearing about it. Feel free to share it.
Also, I'm picturing a blank board with no terrain when I build this list.
What's terrain?
Exactly.
The most annoying thing is when you play on a table and the terrain is just ridiculous. And not like there's too much of it, but like there's 3
just
5-inch discs. It's like, and they're just blocking like half the table. You're like, I guess we're not fighting on that side or something. It's like that shit's hilarious.
So or this deep water that completely envelops the zone.
Pathfinder being such a huge deal, or people acting like Pathfinder is the most massive deal in the game.
It can be, but most times.
Yeah, it's not that big. Don't get so hung up on that, because I've played a million times where Pathfinder had no effect in the game at all.
Well, I was just thinking about, you play, I want to beat Meat Mountain. Well, good luck.
Yeah, they're all behind walls.
No.
Yeah, they're behind walls. The table had 7 walls on that side.
It's inhospitable ground.
I'm talking about 12 inches of inhospitable ground, which only your Avengers can do work in. And actually probably never will, because they'll never shoot them, so...
you just run one into jam and the other 4 get it.
Maybe. They have dash. Hopefully they're far enough away.
They can't go around it and get to you, though.
You stand it in front of Mulk, so you block charge lanes and stuff with it until eventually they kill it. And most people are just idiots and would kill it anyway. Despite them having battle-driven on multiple of their own units, not knowing what it does.
Those have I've never seen Vengers on the table. Yeah, because no one runs them.
So any consideration for mercenaries with the attendant priests?
You can't run that in tier.
Not in tier.
He clearly wants to run tier.
Okay, if you don't want to run in tier, Jacob, I'll say it for you, but the idea of press gangers, oh yeah, multiple attacks on feet turn with the attendant priest, you're making multiple people for your units.
What about Crow's Cutlet?
Crow's auto hitting in melee.
I don't know what that does. Do they auto hit range and get another
No.
shot? Never mind.
No, but they would hit with their poison weapon.
What about
Their
your?
murder weapons?
Their murder weapon.
How about the?
Which I don't know how they attack.
What about the
with
dwarves?
crows.
They have reach, multiple smite attacks. Except for you're not going to smite because you're not rolling.
Only
but
crow does.
Slow.
No. I'm
Dwarves.
saying dwarves, hammer dwarves.
Oh, yeah.
They're slow.
They are, but I mean,
You do get Pathfinder, though.
and magic weapons and
Or magic.
immune to spells.
Or magic.
You get all of them the whole time.
They can take boom howlers.
I don't think so. They're not wearing helmets.
You can take the avatar. You can't take boom howlers. You can't take Nis.
You cannot take Tac Core, but you can take Hammer Doors.
Yes.
It's like,
And
they're
high
so
shields.
racist.
And high shields.
They can also take Ice Shields. Why
I
can't they take Tac
actually
Core?
don't know.
Harbinger would be fucking stupid with Tac Core is why. Wouldn't that be just so awesome to just look at Harvey standing behind 3 cloud doors and just watch her martyr infinitely? Like, god damn it!
What's going on?
Why is this allowed? But Haley 1 can do it.
I've seen so many people who want to play Kreoss too, so I don't want to feel so alone here. But
Precursor
like-
Knights.
They cannot take them.
if they could take,
Reverse Knights, can you?
no,
It would actually make sense, right?
No.
'Cause they're like knights.
All they can take is Forge Guard
No,
and
they're not.
Artillery Corps.
They take the artillery corps too. They're not wearing helmets.
Yep, they get Ogre and Assault Corps too.
The fuck? That's obviously not human. Why are they so indiscriminately racist?
like it's weird too. Like certain races, like fuck them.
I like that statement. Why are they so?
You can take Rorsch and Brine.
Racist?
Rorsch and Brine.
What?
Yeah.
No way they work for Menoth.
Yes,
No, they don't. They
They
only
do.
work for Crix.
they work for Menoth.
Do they really? It's a pig monster! How did they not notice?
It's not they don't notice.
What about Hearn and John?
It's a dwarf and a
Do
tard.
they really?
Yeah. Lenny and Carl. So
Who is the racist motherfucker? If Sevi was in charge, this shit would not be happening.
he's in charge now. Now he's like, why?
Bunch of dumb gays.
You can take Iris. Okay.
You can't take Iris.
Imagine if you had some way to make Rorsch and Brine faction models. Rorsch's increased threat range under the feet turn, auto hitting. Yeah, that'd be great. The avatar is fun when he auto hits it at 10.
Ooh, groundbreaking.
That doesn't help.
Sam and the Devil Dogs.
Shut up. Just shut up.
That's game.
Oh, wait, with Kreoss 1, they're already knocked down. You just have trash. What if you just took a bunch of freebooters?
I hate you so much.
What if you took what's his face? What is this
Gaston.
fucking big Gaston with like 5 freebooters? And Kreoss 1, and you're just like, I'm gonna weapon master the fuck out of you. I like this look.
And Fuel Cache.
Sure. Whatever you need. They have lash. You can't knock them down. It's just like Lucan. My stuff can't be knocked down, but your stuff is always knocked down. That's how it works. That's the keys to victory.
You just take the book with Kreoss 1.
So,
That's all you do.
yeah, but it doesn't work on mercenary model.
The book doesn't?
That's why it's important they have lash.
No. You don't take mercenary models with Kreoss 1.
Yeah, but they have lash, so it's okay.
None of them. I think we probably beat this dead horse.
It's mainly because there's no fucking options in this theme force that has the most options of all theme forces.
It's so funny. I love it so much.
It's just like, do you skew or do you not skew?
I think that you just skew hard as fuck.
I think I actually like Max's list the most of the one we built, the one with the TFG. But
I love
that's the thing; it's
I was
not
actually-
an all-comers list, and that's where it fails.
I was really actually considering, when he was talking about that, just multiple units of TFG.
No, I like it. I do.
I would like it if you could take the new solo.
Pyrrhus,
That'd be
holy fuck.
amazing.
That's
But-
I almost mentioned that as the only thing missing from this theme course was Pyrrhus.
If you could take that, that'd be amazing. Well, I was thinking the idea of running TFG with him, just because the reach attacks, they're only power 10s, but they're not weapon masters.
Auto hitting is a big deal.
But it's
hitting,
still
auto
CMA.
CMAs, yeah, double CMAs, because you're going to double, I mean, increase
Well,
your
you can
powers.
do your charge, do a big CMA, and then just poke a bunch of other stuff. It's very versatile. But, once again, that's not what you're playing in. Like, sure, there'll be some, like, of those middle matchups where you could drop either into it, and it really doesn't matter. But it's going to be pretty few.
That's why he would be way better on ADR.
Yeah, I agree. He would be better on ADR. I
Even
just
in
don't
tier.
know. if there would be a strong enough caster to support Kreoss 2 on ADR. So I still don't think with ADR he goes to a top 5 caster. So like, if it was like Sevi 1 Kreoss 2, I'm all in. Like, that would be an amazing. Even though Sevi doesn't need it, he just kind of has it. Like, it puts him to the point where he can fix any problem Kreoss 2 can.
I love Sevi 1.
So
He's such a fucking monster. I like that whenever people are like, he doesn't have a feat. I'm like,
bullshit.
Really?
That feat has won me
Really?
like 6 of the games I've played with him.
You know, the best thing about him is like the whole time playing with him, he's just like, what? He'll just hands
He's
up
like,
in the air.
come at me, bitch.
He's like,
I'll fucking burn your ass.
I'm old, and here's ashes for everybody. Motherfuckers throwing confetti and shit.
I still like that when we were playing in Des Moines, I rolled double ones on my 2 ashes dashes. I still had a great turn. I was so excited. I was like, I still killed 4 models. It's so awesome.
Ash Dash is so good.
Okay, so
This will more than likely evolve into me just growing up and playing High Reclaimer, but
probably.
I like this, and I like where I'm going with it.
I think
I still kinda
Kreoss
like-
2 could be replaced with the Harby Meat Mountain list, or with a High Reclaimer list that's very similar. But I think it has its own merit.
Well, and it's, like I said, this is more about, 1, playing what I want, 2, this is a podcast, appealing to listeners, kind of, and the fact is, there's a ton of people who want to play him. Like, every day on the Facebook page, there's some people like, I really want to run Kreoss 2, what do y'all think?
I have seen him played out of tier with double battle engine.
What? Shut up.
Happened. I'm not kidding. He won like 3 out of his 4 games at Daikon.
Shut
One of
up.
Tate's friends.
You're just making shit up.
I'm not. I swear to God this happened. And he actually killed the guy with the stupid, I'm going to Doors of Judgment my caster. Because he walked up and was just like fucking one-shotted his caster. He's like, okay.
The best Doors of Judgment caster is Durst. Everybody needs to understand that.
Well, that's true, but Kreoss 2 is a close second.
Oh, you
Except
can't...
for Harvey because she auto-hits.
No, it's not that. It's, you go in, you're all in, okay? You're going to kill their caster. You poke them one time, you're like, oh shit, you didn't die. I guess I'll just stand here, camping everything. The caster is like, and the opponent, who's a badass, they're not going to think about this. They're going to be like, man, fuck you. And they're going to attack your caster. They're not going to one-shot you because you're armor 18, you're camping like 4, you're 22. They're like, fuck, didn't kill you with that one hit, but I...
Retaliatory strike.
Retaliatory strike. Boom! You're like, damn, I took another power 15 weapon master attack to the face. Luckily, I'm not dead yet. I'm going to buy another attack and kill your caster. And you're like, damn it. If only I didn't have the Doors of Judgment here. I'm going to go and make an attack and kill your caster and turn you to a cloud of ash. Fuck you, you're
What
dead.
happens when they just kill you with their...
Other things?
Yeah.
With a lot of other things?
Their feated conquest.
You
that does
still
nothing.
Doors of Judgment and kill their caster.
It happens.
You hope. Hi, Jane.
You hope.
Yeah.
I like the hope.
You just do it. There's no reason to not do it.
Do you just do it?
Yeah, it's like Shia LaBeouf
It's like
tells you.
Success of success of success.
Yes. Very much like Shia LaBeouf. You just do it.
All right. So, in closing of the Kreoss 2 build, if you're pairing it with something that is really, really good, basically just take whatever fixes your problems, which apparently is Vengers and Knights.
Oh my god. Okay.
When
so
in doubt, add more exemplars.
I am going to play the fuck out of Kreoss 2 because it's
Does
been
every
awesome.
model on that list have Weapon Master other than Kreoss?
Fire Salvation.
Damn it. 2 models on your list don't have Weapon
I'm telling you, it's the most disappointing thing in the
Mechanic.
Ooh.
That's true.
Fail.
Damn
Mic
it.
drop. That's 3 models. You're increasing the percentage of Weapon Masters not in the list.
by 200%.
You just destroyed all things. So, I think the thing is just play them, play what you want to play. I'm going to just keep updates and just let people know how stupid this is. And
What's the fewest number of models you can play in a list that don't have weapon? That's a legal list.
in that list?
A list.
In any list? The fewest number of Weapon Master models?
Non-Weapon Master model.
1, 2.
Convergence has a Weapon Master Jack. So, and they have no Weapon Master casters.
Yeah?
So that they're it with 1. And then everything else you take as a Weapon Master.
Well, Butcher can't take a Weapon Master Jack.
Right. So it's 1.
Otherwise,
you
yeah.
take a Jack.
All right.
So, I honestly do think that list would do okay with the pair of Kreoss 1.
I think the issue I'm going to run into is I'm going to play the fuck out of this, even into stuff that it realistically shouldn't be played against, just because I want to play it against all
Let's
things.
see how far it'll go.
I mean, I figure it'll get me more experience across the board playing against things even if it's not supposed to be played against. Like, I'm going to play it against Inhospitable Ground. I'm going to play it against Haley 2. I'm going to play it against all these things.
And obviously, we understand that Kreoss 2 isn't the best second list in Menoth. We're just
At all.
saying specifically,
This is for
Spence
me.
wants to play Kreoss 2, so we're trying to make it work.
I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna be the very best, like no one was before.
Everyone.
Yeah, to catch them is my real quest.
Just randomly.
No. I don't.
Pokemon!
Max caught it.
I love the Kool-Aid Man Max appearance.
Yeah! H Vigos, bitch! Yeah! And, while talking...
This has been Brandon.
Spence.
HV goes on Daka Daka. See you later, fellas.
And Jeremy.
Bye.
Chicken fucker.
You can't end 2 episodes with
doing
chicken
it.
fucker.
Can't stop me.
Yes, I can. I can cut it out.
Can't stop Brandon. I don't know what happened to
I
that.
think he won.
Are you having a stroke?
I'm having a stroke.
Raise
Damn
my
it.
hands.
Yeah. Chicken fuckers.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
Yeah. But that was his parents in the car.
I watched the movie for
And they had
softball.
no idea what was going on. They thought they were just random extras. And then he comes up the car and is like, license and registration. Chicken fuckers. And they're just like, that was their honest to God reaction to what was happening. They were like, what the fuck?
To be fair, they should have expected it in that group.
Yeah. We're recording now, aren't we?
Maybe.
Maybe you are.
Actually, we're. I'm not going to say this.
Chicken? Is this a sad stick? It's a sad stick. That's what I call them at home.
Because you cut yourself?
I mean, I don't do that because I'm sad. I do that for attention.
You go home to be alone and then cut yourself so you can get attention?
Yes.
Okay.
Does that not work?
I don't think that works the way you think it does.
Apparently you don't understand how my secret pain is.
You clearly don't understand emo is.
I read a book about it once.
They told you where to cut and how to cut.
It turns out Babysitter's Club, nobody was cutting.
Basically, the chapters 1 through 17
They all
were.
That's actually, yeah, that's a very valid point.
They were all down the alley, not across the street.
What you do is you read a book like, fucking Super Fudge by Judy Blume. You read all these books for like preteens and whatnot, and you just start coming up with like really dark secrets that are hidden behind what she's writing. Make it all up. Like in the Babysitter's Club, how many of them are pregnant? Just throw a number out there.
What are we talking? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Babysitter's Club, the
What
books.
the fuck is that?
What did you
Is that
do
like
when you were a
Garbage Pail
child?
Kids?
No.
I lived in very small rooms with other people. Like, it was not pleasant.
How was prison?
Brandon never learned to read.
Yeah, I'm the Charlie of the group.
What are
I'm the wild card and I
Yes.
can't read.
And I turn on this nice cold cooler set.
Can I be the D? I really want to be the D.
You want to be the D?
Wow. Nobody has ever uttered
You
that.
clearly have to have brittle bird bones to be
Brittle
D.
bird bones.
You have to attempt to kick a football and shatter your knee. It's like a pendulum. It just comes down with the force
People
of
have
pounding
given me
down.
so much shit about liking that show, and they're so like, I can't.
What? That is like the best show of our generation.
Well, because
next to Archer.
I will bitch about things like Archer, okay? People are like, you don't like Archer? I'm like, well, I get the joke. Like, I understand. Like, I saw 3 episodes of Archer, and I realized I've
It's
seen
like
every episode
Family
of
Guy,
Archer.
but not for retards. Is basically
So
all it
I
is.
watched, like, Sunny, and I've realized that at no point have they finished the joke. It's still just going, and you're waiting for more punchline the whole time.
The best part about Sunny is eventually you'll realize it's like, these people are literally just a bunch of retarded assholes that make up 90% of the population of the planet.
That's actually every human being I meet. I'm all
No,
like,
you're just like, okay, well, you're this one. Like, you can just go like, all right, well, the hobo is Frank. And then the guy that's self-righteous is Cricket.
Danny DeVito saved that show.
Oh my god.
It gets so hardcore.
Well, I'm just saying, when like a known actor calls you up and like basically begs you to be on your show, you should know that you're doing something right.
Actually, his what was it? His agent actually told him he ruined his career with
It's like,
that.
you have to stop immediately. You're ruining your career. He's like, I don't care.
He flat out
This is
told
the
his agent
only
he's
role
never
I ever want to play.
I
again.
love that so much.
He's like, if I can gurgle wine out of a beer can and spit it onto myself for the rest of my life, I will be happy.
He went on The View, and he wasn't acting as Frank. They had to realize that he's no longer the person they've known
He's no
for
longer
years.
made a video. He is Frank now.
It's amazing.
Like, was there a movie or a special? Because I remember Frank coming out of a leather couch and it hasn't happened yet in the show.
That was the Christmas special.
The Christmas special. Yeah. That was amazing. It was like fucking Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura 2 out of the Rhino, but Frank out of the leather couch, which is 10 times more disturbing. Because it's like a Christmas elf gnome
nothing is worse
leather
than
bondage, and you just want to vomit on yourself.
Frank is the epitome of what people shouldn't be. Like, there's no quality that he has that you should be like...
Money.
Yeah.
He has money.
He had money.
Well, I'm not caught
now
up yet,
he's...
So.
The thing I like most about every bit of that is the fact that at no point has he ever dropped character. Like, he came on set the first day, he's like, I see where this is going to go.
Now he's just Frank.
Yeah, he's just that all the time now. Like, it's his friends have commented on it. Like his life has changed. There's actually a rendition of the new Superman vs. Batman trailer.
Yes.
Where they did Dayman versus...
and Nightman.
I love it so much.
Did you see it because I shared it?
Yes, that was where I saw it.
That was amazing.
Oh, it's so perfect. It's like greatest ringtone ever.
He made Dayman and Nightman in City Heroes and Villains. Dayman was a hero that used martial arts, and then Nightman was an assassin that used ninjutsu. And he had like the full story in his bio, like 10 paragraphs. And people start reading it like, oh my god, he actually made Nightman. And like he does all these weird, like just fucking perverted things.
You won. You won at life.
He stands next to children and is just like rubbing his hands together, like ooh. Like stand next to a troll and he's like, I got the money.
So much fun.
He made a character called, what was it? What was your character's name? Mole Man? Or was that Jameson? What was yours name?
Sleeper Agent.
His character's name was Sleeper Agent. And all he did was stand in Atlas Park, which is the noob zone, where everyone invites you to new clans, which are called supergroups. And as soon as he got invited to a supergroup, he's like, step 1 complete. And he says it in the whole group chat. He goes to the super base and just starts taking everything out of the base and selling it on the black market. There's literally a sell point that's called the black market. And he just goes there and sells it for nothing. And then goes back, loads up his inventory, goes back and sells it for nothing. And he just does this until their stashes are empty. And they called the devs on him. They're like, this guy cleaned out our super base. And then the dev shows up. He's like, his name is Sleeper Agent. He reads his bio and he's like, he's a double agent that infiltrates supergroups. He cleans out their base. He's like, I can't do anything.
It's amazing.
What the fuck, Jeremy? You put it in your description?
Yes. He literally said in the description, I'm trying to rob you. It's just like...
Yeah, people would send me invites, and I'm like, are you sure? They're like, yeah, we're a fun group.
Let's do this.
But okay.
We listen to Dane Cook all day, bro. Like, it's like, oh my god.
Does she stick to the base using her cape?
She's one of yet the 13,000 floaty casters.
She's fairly small.
She's very petite. Like a 14-year-old, you might say.
I wouldn't say that.
You
She looks
wouldn't
old.
Young one.
You can dye that shit.
So are we going to talk about this at all?
What are we talking about? This one's about Harvey, right?
Apparently you want to make a Harvey list using Kreoss 2 and Kreoss 2's models. We're going to play them out of tier, right?
I don't know.
I replaced the leader model in every one of my units of knights with Kreoss 2.
Alright, so do we all have a Kreoss 2 list? Max said he was going to build one.
He's doing full TFG and daughters.
No knights. No exemplars of any kind.
Not even
Can
the
you
caster.
not take warjacks?
No.
You have to take
Choirs,
exemplars.
so what's the point?
You take it like a devout or fire.
Fire to get to tier 4. I think
Slow
so.
army probably
Pretty good.
is.
And he's just good. Like, he's one of the few jacks that doesn't really need choir.
Especially with a bunch of dudes.
Well, do we want to do intro?
I'm still building them.
And actually, interesting, you get a free knight with one of the tiers that's worth 3 points.
Or 2.
And Fire Salvation costs 9 points, and you have 6 Warjack points.
So he's basically...
Yeah, and you have 50 points in knights. If only it actually worked that way and it just gave you 3 Warjack points.
You can really take a lot of stuff that you would not expect to be able to take.
Yeah. Go to
No,
units.
like, I don't think you realize how...
Deliver Sunburst Crew?
Yeah. Like, you could play a list that's not even comparable to a Kreoss 2.
You got to consider what it requires. You need 4 exemplar units. Easy.
Yeah, but isn't one of them, like...
2 of them are Knights
Rovan?
exemplars. Yeah, you can take him.
You take Rovan and Co., like, 3 units of Knights.
Rovan and Co., Errants, 2 units of Knights. That
Why
fulfills
Errants?
requirements.
That's too many points. You can't fit 2 Judicators if you take unit Errants.
You can't fit 2 Judicators anyway. I'm saying it right now.
But you can take 2 units of Flamebearer Cleanser.
Yes. Which, I mean, yeah. Though Cleansers would give you a cloud to hide Knights behind as your move advance. Oh, no, they're behind them. I was actually really curious about the idea of running the Sunburst crews, just because they're not that expensive. They give you pretty cool guns, and you could take, what's the not fuel cache, but the ammo thing? What is it? The objective?
It's not fire sport. But
that
supply
one?
cache. Supply depot? I think it's supply depot.
Something like that. Run that with all those anyway, because
I think you take bunker objective.
To do with what?
spend 6 points on some of those, have some range 16 guns just sitting there.
There's 0 reason to have them.
Because you have 1 point left over.
I have 4 points.
Rovan. Minimum unit of TFG.
I already have G.
Net exemplar Seneschal.
Hey, what's your...
I don't have one put together yet.
You need that list.
I mean, I could put 2 exemplar errant seneschals in, but I don't think they're needed.
At that point, I'd say you should rather take a Hierophant and 1 exemplar Errant Seneschal.
You can't take a Hierophant.
Oh, I was looking at... 4 points you put in Vigilant.
Why? I'll put another on a vessel because I don't. I mean, I do. I don't know what to do with that last 4 points.
It's very hard once you get down there. Well, it's 4 points. You took Rovan in them already?
No, I didn't. I don't think he does anything for the list. You probably want him in your second list.
2 errant seneschals. Do you take errants?
I didn't take Aaron. Did you ever think of all the jam my throat and then have to deal with that and then
Like what? Daughters?
or other things?
That's why I like it.
I mean, I have 3 units that are not. I have 4 units that are.
I ended up with just 5 points at the end, so I just threw in a 5th unit of Knights.
I mean, like with 5 points, but that's what I would have done.
Then we've talked about this, but this is what I think I want to do.
That's exactly.
Well, I debated on putting 2 units of daughters instead of 2 units of knights at the end. Because getting it to 35 is the easy part.
Well, yeah, because everything's pre-chosen for you.
Yeah.
Alright, so you do that and I'll do something.
I also debated on doing multiple. Actually, I want to do that instead. I'm going back. Hold up. Keep your list where yours was. Because I want to run multiple solos. Hey, guess how many points I have left over?
4.
How high is strength? 11.
They get plus 5.
You could fail a strength roll when you're trying to...
Oh, I didn't put Gravis in there.
I didn't put Gravis in.
I need Gravis. I like Gravis.
It's fine.
Okay. There we go. 3 units of Knights Exemplar, Errants, 2 Knight Exemplar Seneschals, 2 Errant Seneschals, Gravis, and Flamebringers. I'm going to rearrange this.
Are we still paused?
Nope.
No. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
What happened here?
That's why you don't.
Oh, why, imagine if it gave you 2 units of Errants with the free UA on one of them. Or it give you... You can take an additional Errant UA for free on a second Errant as one of the tiers. That'd be awesome. I think I'd rather have that than the free Seneschal.
You're saying having a second here.
Yeah.
Want it?
Vindictus does that.
I know there's a...
It's really restrictive aside from that.
I don't know. Zealots would.
Things for $20.
Only with big details.
Okay, and I almost have all the models for this. I gotta buy 1 exemplar Errant Seneschal. I gotta
Is that a
buy...
requirement? Because
What?
I have all.
Did you not look at the requirements?
Does it tell you no in force?
I think he's actually asking owning them.
I was
I also own Flamebringers, but I definitely want to try them. Because worst case, I can run them up ahead of everything to give me an extra turn to move up, to increase my threat range, kind of. To kind of screen somewhat. I can flank hard with them so they kind of separate their army. They're a really good target for Invulnerable Resolve. Okay.
Yeah, this is what you just told me, right? Or no,
It's pretty much what I just read out. That's actually kind of interesting. For anti-shooting, if I really wanted to, the 2 exemplar Seneschals standing right next to each other, Kreoss right there behind them, and then Gravis back here, 9 inches, to the Seneschals, is like, well, you can't kill them this turn. What do you got? So you will never be able to target my caster with line of sight. If they can get something to them, I'm talking about like things like Lilith 2 or whatever, you're not going to shoot my caster. Kill other things. But then they're just like, okay, well, I'm going to spread my range checks out and I'm going to kill all your knights.
Well, that's when, because if you start losing like 2 guys per shot, then you're kind of screwed. You have to make them make 1 attack per model. But like stuff like Deathstalkers just shreds those guys, because they kill all the other guys first until the armor gets high, and then Deathstalk 2 guys.
Well, I found that the errant seneschal is somebody who I generally think I want one more of. When I run the errant boat, yeah, he's expensive because he's another 2-point solo, but he's a valuable 2-point solo. So having another one of him is...
I feel like having the 2 solos full unit of guys is probably not.
What do you mean?
Because you drop the 2 extra solos you bought, you get a 4th unit a night.
I don't know. I kind of feel like the field is kind of jammed with a bunch of guys. You're probably right, but I want to use the second seneschal. Why do you make me question?
Invaluable result.
So if I switch it to that, are you flat out taking... we have the same list
That's
then?
my list. Here, I'll build something totally different. You do it.
Well, no, you build... I need your thoughts on it.
We're going to talk about that.
I think I'll probably just want to dude more, so you're right.
I think I have a list of 8 to play.
Is it bad that I almost want to find a way to not take them and to take Avengers instead?
Yeah, Avengers just aren't good with them.
Yeah, it doesn't give them any... It's not the right fit. Thematically, I would like it more, but... So that glue's $5 a bottle?
Something like
If I just take it out, put 2 units of knights in there... When is Kreoss 2 going to be an ADR?
Surprised he's not, but does that really help?
No, but I want it to be.
With the amount of stuff you can take in the list, yeah, it makes a difference.
But I mean, you're playing another caster on ADR is the problem. You don't have your like super list that can save you.
You don't know that.
I find it unlikely.
They said all casters.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So in 8 years they could all cycle through, but it'll be like one good caster at a time.
Maybe. So far, except for cast factions that have severely limited caster pools, they've been completely...
True. I think if they plan out in advance to make sure there's like of their top third of their casters, as long as they split it up to be like one really good caster at a time, and everybody else is fairly limited, I think it's fine. I don't know, I feel like whenever Haley 2 gets on ADR, it's going to be to the point where it's like, it really fucking matters what the other 3 casters. Like, they have to be complete garbage to be anywhere close to balance.
That's just a terrible idea.
There's some casters that shouldn't be on ADR. I think Lich would be okay.
Darius was already on?
Darius has already been. That's the thing, like, they could put the same caster on multiple times.
Yeah.
Because after 2 years, most factions have been through every caster. So they could put the same caster on multiple times, just spread it out over like 4 years. Just keep putting the same shitty casters back on with one super powerful caster.
It'll be Haley 1, 2, and 3.
It'll be the Haleys and Kane.
Or Siege. All 3 Haleys. Siege.
And then by that time, Siege 2.
Yeah, or Haley 4. This is correct.
I don't think they go quad epic anytime soon.
Yeah.
Until there's Magnus 3.
Never gonna happen. Part 2's coming for.
Bark 2 is going for Magnus 3. I'd love a Magnus 3.
It'd be weird
probably
that their only epic caster goes double epic before anyone else goes epic.
It just occurred to me, I'm sitting here thinking, like, God, who will go
the fact
to
that
third?
Gordon
Who goes
hasn't
third
gone
That's
epic
gonna
yet.
be weird when somebody goes third epic. I just did that.
Gordon is like the only Prime caster that hasn't gone epic.
He wasn't in Prime. Maybe he was in Remix. He wasn't in Prime.
He wasn't in Prime.
Mercenaries weren't a faction where Prime was. They were just mercenaries.
Well, it wasn't a faction. You didn't play him like a faction.
Right, which means Gordon wasn't a caster.
He was still a caster because you just took him at the points level.
Oh, you just took him as a second war caster, you're saying?
Yeah. You just paid the points and you took him.
Not in Prime, though, was it?
Yeah.
I didn't think that he was in Prime.
I think he came
It's either that or the...
Magnus came out before Gordon.
Escalation.
Oh, maybe you're right. I don't really remember.
I was pretty sure it was Magnus, Gordon, or the first 2 mercenary casters.
They were definitely the first 2.
I'm
And I
100%
believe they were in
weren't
Prime, but...
And then they finally fixed it with Bart, because he's the best.
I'm 100% confident they weren't in Prime.
I have Prime Remix over there on the shelf.
It's not the same.
I know it's not. Because they were like, we done fucked up. Here's our best chance to fix it.
And now in color.
Alright,
Ready?
everyone got their list?
I have a list.
A list.
Is it a Crusader and 10 units of Knights?
No.
Okay.
I'm not
Mine's not even
stupid.
tier.
I'm at a
You're not
tier.
running in tier? That's interesting. I don't even know what that could be then.
Well, that's probably could run it. Nope, I put Zealots in.
We good to go?
Yeah. Sure, why not?
Recording? All
We've been
right.
recording for half an hour.
Okay. Half an hour. Did you just echo that?
Callbacks.
That was a thing.
We've done it before.